Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here are the answers to the quiz from yesterday. After you watch this video, attached to this assignment there is a point retrieval. That point retrieval will allow you to correct any mistakes that you made on the quiz and earn points back to raise your grade. So watch this video, compare it with the answers that you typed in on your quiz, and determine what problems you need to redo in order to earn points back. So problem number 1 says that Otto is making deliveries for a restaurant. The data in the table represent the proportional relationship between the number of hours he works and the number of deliveries he can make in that time. You need to write an equation to represent that situation. So notice the number of hours is represented by the x variable, and the number of deliveries is represented by the y variable. If he works for 3 hours, he can make 15 deliveries. 5 hours, he can make 25 deliveries. 8 hours, 40 deliveries, and 9 hours, 45 deliveries. What you need to notice here is that each number of hours is being multiplied by 5 to get to that number of deliveries. So 5 deliveries is the unit rate. 5 deliveries per 1 hour. So that is the constant of proportionality, and that is what goes into your equation with your x and your y variables. Because for each delivery, x, no matter how many, for each number of hours, x, no matter how many hours he works, we can multiply that by 5 to get the number of deliveries that he can make. So y equals 5 times x. Problem number 2 was still Otto. This time they gave us a graph and they were asking, what does the point 420 mean in this situation? So if we look at the ordered pair 4, 20, the 4 is the x value, and that is along the bottom of my graph. That represents the number of hours. So in 4 hours, Otto can deliver, over here on the y-axis, 20 deliveries. So that is the second choice here. In 4 hours, Otto can make 20 deliveries. Problem number 3 and number 4 were also connected. Amy buys 7 DVDs for $129.50. The total cost, C, is proportional to the number of DVDs purchased, D. What number fits in the blank to complete the equation that represents this situation? So we're looking here for that constant of proportionality, or that unit rate. That is what's missing from this equation. So in order to find the unit rate, or the constant of proportionality, we're going to take $129.50 and divide it by 7. When we do that, we get 18.5. What that means is that we would spend $18.50 on one DVD. Problem number 4 then asked, well, what if Amy wants to buy 2 DVDs? So we're going to take our unit rate, $18.50, and multiply that by 2, and she would spend $37. Problem number 5 says Trina is making a graph that shows a proportional relationship between the amount of money collected, Y, and the number of tickets sold, X. She correctly plots the point 600, 1950. Which of these statements are true, and select all that are correct. So I want to make sure that I point out that the first number is always the X. That is the number of tickets sold in this case. And the second number is always the Y. In this case, that is the amount of money collected. So the ones that are marked are the ones that are true. The constant of proportionality is not 600 divided by 1950. It's actually the opposite, 1950 divided by 600. When you do that in your calculator, then you get the number 3.25, which leads me to the second one. The point 1, 3.25 is on the graph and identifies the cost for each ticket is $3.25. That's true. If I sell 600 tickets and I multiply that by $3.25, I get $1,950. The next one is true because the point 00 is on the graph, because 00 is on the graph of all proportional relationships. Yes, if I sold 0 tickets, I would spend $0. The next one is false. They tried to trick you here. It says the point 5, 16.25 is not on the graph because it is impossible to sell 16.25 tickets. Remember, the tickets are represented by the X value. So here, the number of tickets is actually 5, and I can sell 5 tickets, and it will cost $16.25. And then the point 140, 455 is on the graph because $455 will be collected. If 140 tickets are sold, that's true. If I multiply 140 by 3.25, I will get $455. And then the last problem, Marcus is taking inventory at his pet store. The graph shows the relationship between the number of bags of dog food in the store and the total number of pounds of dog food in those bags. Which of the statements are true? And select all that are correct. The first one is not correct. The X and Y values are actually flip-flopped in that ordered pair. It says the point 150, 3 means 3 bags contain 150 pounds. It should be the point 3, 150. The constant of proportionality is 1 divided by 50 or 0.02. That's incorrect. If I look at the graph, the constant of proportionality is represented when there is 1 bag, and that is actually means that it has 50 pounds of dog food in it. The next one is true. The point 4, 200 means that 4 bags contain 200 pounds of dog food. If I look at my graph, the X value here is the number of bags, 4. And if I go up and find what Y value that meets, it does meet at 200, which is the pounds of dog food. So that one's true. The next one is also true. There are 50 pounds of dog food in each bag. Again, that goes back to that unit rate point, 150. And then the last one says the point 050 identifies the unit rate as 50. That's false. That is that point 00 that is on the graph. It should not be 050, it should be 00 instead. Now, go ahead and click on that point retrieval. You can go through any of the problems that you missed on the quiz to earn points back so that you can raise your score on the quiz.